And tonight we're digging into whether a simple blood test can really help predict suicide risk as is being claimed. Those just released study results are from Johns Hopkins researchers, and 7 News anchor Eric Connert is always investigating, shedding light on the positives and negatives of that test. Eric?
Mike, I want to start with why this conversation is so important. The latest data shows Colorado has one of the highest suicide rates in the nation. The state's seen here in red. Around 1,000 Coloradans take their lives each year. Now, this new study suggests alterations to a single gene might help predict suicide risk. And you can find the results just by drawing blood.
We knew he was suicidal.
Sally and Carson were close siblings.
He did disclose that to us, but what he also said is he would never do it.
But he did in 2004. Carson suffered from mental illness.
10 years since his passing, I do feel hopeful.
Sally now heads up a Denver-based suicide prevention organization.
Anytime we have an advancement in science in the field of suicide prevention, that increases the potential that we can identify people early and link them to care. Is exciting for all of us.
Using blood samples, Johns Hopkins researchers found the alteration of the SKA2 gene was linked to stress reactions.
This study helps us understand how a genetic influence could operate on stress response.
But Professor Michael Allen says it's a big leap from there to actual suicide risk.
You have to both want to die and be capable of committing the act.
We asked Professor Allen to weigh in on speculation the test could help returning military members, a group with a higher suicide risk.
Let's say that you have a positive test. Does that mean you don't get promoted? Does that mean you get held back from combat in the future? It could have a deleterious effect on your career. Does it mean that you get more resources? Well, that could be good.
Sally also has reservations.
In the wrong hands, a finding like this could be used to push people away, to push people out.
You can call this number if you have questions about suicide. Even the Johns Hopkins researchers admit a true blood test to gauge a person's suicide risk may be at least a decade away. Now, this study looked at hundreds of blood samples. Professor Allen says a much larger sample is required to be more accurate and legitimate. Bottom line, this study is just scratching the surface and more research is needed.